Alright, MTGOntario and ManaDeprived.com. This is my third Scars of Mirrodin Prerelease Sealed deck video that I'm doing, and I'm kind of tired of opening up like these mediocre pools. They're decent, but I've been watching like a lot of the action on the forums and people posting up their sealed pools, and a lot of people getting like ridiculous bombs and money rares like Koth and Elspeth and Steel Hellkite and whatnot. Let's see if we're lucky ourselves this time. So first things first, sort by rarity. Oh, there you go. There's that Steel Hellkite I was talking about. So we got a Steel Hellkite, Kemba Ka Regent, Cerebral Eruption's pretty decent. Genesis Wave, not a big fan. Chimeric Mass and Argentum Armor, so pretty decent haul. Sort by color now and see what we're working with, okay? So first things first, I'm going to start putting in all the cards that I think are playable, and you'll probably see like a little skip in the video because I'm probably going to edit out that the whole section where it's just me clicking on the mouse. Alright, we're back from all that clicking, which I probably edited out. And the first thing I like to do after I sort out all my playables is I want to see if the infect deck is doable or not. So I try to sort things out in that manner to see whether or not I can make certain cuts already or not. It looks like I have a few infect creatures, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I have enough. For a good infect deck to work, I usually like about 10 or more infect creatures that naturally have infect, so that I'm constantly putting threats out onto the board. I think it's really close though. You can just see the development here on the right side of my screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's exactly 10. Like the thing that would make it really good is the two of these are very strong. This costs 2, this costs 2, this costs 2, this costs 3, this costs 4. It's pretty close. The problem is that it's how you build the deck afterwards to make it work. Like, I think that you'd have to fill the deck with a few more creatures, and those creatures would be sort of on like your plan B. So if you couldn't really infect them very well, you would have to start attacking them from the other way, and it's like you're undoing all your previous work. So I think it would work if you had something like Tainted Strike, but unfortunately our pool doesn't have that. So I mean, Untamed Might looks pretty good with these 10 infect creatures, but I'm still a little hesitant to try the poison deck right now, so I'm going to set this to the side, but keep it, you know, in the back of my mind that it's doable. So in that case, I'm going to cut this black creature. So I'm going to put this here too, because it's probably going in the same group as it. I look at blue, and all I really see is Volition Reigns. So I'm probably not going to play it. I mean, Volition Reigns is very good, but I don't have enough to support it. Unless I have, like, I'm almost a monocolor deck, and I end up playing, like, one Volition Reigns. I could see that happening, but probably unlikely. That being said, my white looks really good with 3 arrests. Kemba Regent and, you know, a few other good cards here. My black has Turn to Slag, Double Shatter, Cerebral Eruption, and Embersmith. Barrage Ogre is decent, but I might not have to play. Well, I'm definitely not playing these Daredevils. The Barrage Ogres are probably on the maybe pile for now, because I would like to play them if I had Furnaces, but I'm probably not going to run it. And that being said, the leftover is green. You have Molder Beast, which is pretty decent with Double Shatter and Spell Bombs, but I actually don't have any Spell Bombs. Yeah, in my whole pool I don't have a single Spell Bomb, so they probably go down in value then. And, oh sorry, I just realized this is an infect creature, so I should actually put that there. The infect deck looks like it's getting a little bit of help. I'm going to put these with the pile of cards with the infects to the right here. I'm going to keep that, you know, in the back of my mind, and same thing with this Telgillite Defiance. These are all like the iffy creatures that I probably will have to play if I end up doing that. Just something to keep in mind. These are the forefront of those. Like, let's see if I build another white-red Metalcraft deck, which just seems to be the trend these days. The first thing probably cut is Nurok Replica, since we're not playing blue, and they're just really big just like artifact walls, and they don't really need them. With the Kemba Ka Regent, you try and get as many cheap equipment as possible, because it doesn't really matter what it is or how much power it gives, as long as it's an equipment that it's equipped to this guy. Trigon Infestation is another card that goes here with the green cards. Like, we could even just transform our deck into poison if we wanted to. So, like, we could have a plan A and a plan B, like, in the sideboard. So, just something to keep in mind. Like, I'm really liking this white-red build, because it has a lot of removal, and it lends itself more to an artifact-based deck, which usually tends to do better than Infect in my experience. And it has, you know, Bomb. Like, the problem with playing Steel Hellkite when you're going Infect is, like, again, you're attacking from a different angle, and it's like you're undoing all your work. So I'd rather, it's the same as, like, trying to play the Poison Dragon, although the Poison Dragon can win you the game by itself, because it's basically like double the damage of a Steel Hellkite, because you only need to get to 10 instead of 20. But that being said, I don't like being on the opposite end, trying to play poison and having like a guy like this as my finisher. Let's see here. So Wall of Tanglecord probably isn't something that great. I probably don't want to play too many of them if I can. The one thing I do notice here is I like Barrage Ogres with liquid metal coating, because you can start throwing lands at them and start shocking them with it, which is pretty good. Not a big fan of Culling Deus. I mean, it's okay, but I don't really need to run it. And it looks like I'm going to need to make a lot of cuts anyways, so that's one to go. Got a Life Staff, Bladed Pinions, a bunch of Strider Harnesses. I'd probably be playing something like 1 Bladed Pinion, 1 Strider Harness. 3 equipment should probably be enough for him. Or her. Yeah. It's a pretty good deck. The problem with this deck is that it's not really a Metalcraft deck, which is good, actually, because then you don't have to be too concentrated on certain themes. So I actually have I have 1 card where Metalcraft matters, and it's not even that bad if I don't have Metalcraft. So let's see here. Probably Salvage Scout isn't something I care too much about. And let's see, let's just separate out. Like, the white-red deck just has a ton of removal spells, which is something I am very happy about. And that's another removal spell, equipment. The problem is the deck only has about 11 creatures, not counting this Chimeric Mass, so about 12, which is probably the bare minimum again. It looks like a slowish sort of control style deck, which is fine. I'm perfectly happy playing control. I'm wondering about these Bladed Pinions, because I don't really see... I'm wondering if maybe a second Strider Harness is better, or maybe even a second Bladed Pinions over the Strider Harness. I'm definitely playing the Sylvok Life Staff just because it costs less, and yeah. I have a Rusted Relic I'm not playing. Let's see. Let's just take another look at this again. So just sort by color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 for like a semi-Metalcraft style deck. I could actually just cut the Rusted Relic, because then like if I don't plan to get it metal crafted, it's a pretty bad artifact most of the time. Because I already have like too many playables as is. So if I just cut the Rusted Relic, like if this is Chrome Steed, I'd probably play it because at worst it's at least a 2/2. But this is just, it just turns off, which is not good. So, and if we're running like something like borderline, like 14 is probably borderline. Like you need 14 to 15 is like the okay number of artifacts for an artifact deck, but this deck has a lot of colored spells that it probably wants to be playing. Like Sunspear Shikari is actually pretty decent when you have 3 equipments. Let's see here. Like, I think the variance between the 3 equipments is fine. Like the fact that one gives evasion and one gives power, this also gives power. That could matter. Like I don't want to cut the glider, but I'm inclined to, but then I have very few creatures. I have no mana mirrors as well in this entire pool, which means I need to run at least 17 lands. That being said, it's really tough actually. Okay, I'm gonna pause this for a second and then come back to this because I have to, you know, give this some. All right, I pretty much got to this point in the couple of minutes I took to think over this deck list, and I think this is the 24 cards that I want, and I'm gonna actually run 17 lands. So I'm gonna have a 41 card deck, mainly because I don't have any mana mirrors. I have to run 17 lands, and I couldn't find anything to cut here because my creature count's so low. And counting the Chimeric Mass, I have about 11. I actually took out what was it called? The Snap Sail Glider, because if I don't think that I'm going to be metal crafted that often, it's just going to be a Grey Ogre. And I actually put in a Wall of Tanglecord. Even though I'm probably not playing green, I'm just going to use it as a really good defender because I need to get to the late game with this deck and win with my like 5 and 6 mana cost cards here, and a lot of them are just bombs. The Barrage Ogres are probably going to win me some games if I have, you know, Liquid Metal Coating out or something. I was considering cutting Liquid Metal Coating, and then it just makes the Barrage Ogres go down a lot more in value. Like, what I could do is cut the Liquid Metal Coating and not worry about Metalcraft, and then switch up like maybe a Barrage Ogre for something else in the late game. Like that's kind of the point I'm at right now. So if I did something like this, take those 2 out, and then maybe a Wall of Tanglecord to be even more defensive, that could work. Because then I'm replacing the creature that I'm taking out. The problem is I have much less ways to win this way. Like I really like the Liquid Metal Coating in my deck just because I have 2 Shatters and a Revoke Existence. So I'm actually just going to leave it in. I'm just going to keep this the way it is because the Liquid Metal Coating combos very well with my deck. So I'm just going to keep it like this and then sort out the mana base. So let's see what Moto suggests. 9 and 7. It's for 16, so I just add another Plains. I think we should be okay. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white cards. And the majority of my cards are red, and we'll have double red there. I think we should be okay with that mana. 41 cards is not something I'd like to register, but I'll try it out.